and get started. Thank everyone for joining us today in the Joliet Township regular board meeting here on Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 at 4 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance before calling the roll. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll begin now with roll call. Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Trustee Adamowski.
Present virtually.
Trustee Vivian.
Here.
Trustee Gavin. Trustee Washington.
Here.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
We have a quorum.
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, just for notes, Trustee Adamowski is joining us remotely. Trustee Gavin did advise us in advance that he would be unable to attend today. So we'll begin. We'll carry on with our first agenda items here, which are minutes. First, we have approval of the minutes of the regular town board meeting from March 10th, 2026. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, we have minutes from our bid opening, which was held on March 12th, 2026. This is in reference to Oakwood Cemetery grass cutting services. I believe a representative from the winning bid is here. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review the minutes, and if there are no questions, then I would ask for a motion and a second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our public comment section of our meeting. This will be the opportunity if anybody from the public would like to speak to the board. Seeing none, then we will close the public comment portion of our meeting. Continue on with new business. First, under new business is a proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Just a moment here. Read it into the record. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month is observed each April to raise awareness about sexual assault, harassment, and abuse, and to encourage communities to take action to prevent sexual violence and support survivors, SAAM emerged from the advocacy and leadership of survivors, community organizers, and civil rights leaders, including the establishment of the first rape crisis centers in the 1970s and the passage of landmark legislation such as the Violence Against Women Act of 1993. And whereas April 2026 marks the 25th anniversary of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, a milestone recognizing decades of advocacy, education, and survivor-centered efforts to end sexual violence, this year's theme, 25 Years Stronger, Looking Back, Moving Forward, reflects on both the progress achieved and renews a commitment to prevention, healing, and action, with the voices of survivors remaining at the heart of the movement. SAAM underscores the importance of listening to, believing, and supporting survivors, especially as more survivors come forward to share their stories and call for meaningful, lasting change. Whereas in light of the recent statement given by Dolores Huerta, a renowned labor rights leader, community organizer, and civil rights activist, who spoke publicly for the first time about the sexual violence she experienced, declaring that, "I have kept this secret long enough, my silence ends here." We honor her strength and courage with compassion and a firm belief in the truth of her words. Whereas in a world where survivors are many times made to feel that their voice must remain silent, where accountability for perpetrators is often elusive, and where survivors are frequently left to carry the burden of the aftermath of the violence and trauma alone, Joliet Township government affirms its unwavering commitment to believe and stand with survivors, to uphold the right to speak out, and to pursue justice in the ways that are most meaningful to them. Whereas sexual violence remains significantly underreported due to fear of retaliation, stigma, trauma, and diminished trust in systems, often resulting in profound and lifelong mental, physical, and emotional impacts on survivors. Data from the National Sexual Violence Resource Center highlights the widespread prevalence of sexual violence, indicating that nearly 1 in 2 women in the United States will experience some form of contact sexual violence in their lifetime, including 1 in 5 who report rape or attempted rape, that at least 1 in 6 men experience sexual violence, and that disproportionately high rates affect Indigenous women, individuals with intellectual disabilities, and transgender individuals. And whereas, as we reflect on the progress made over the past 25 years, we also acknowledge the work that remains, recognizing that sexual violence is not only the result of an individual's choice to cause harm to another, but also a reflection of the broader systemic issues in our society that fail to equally value and protect all people, normalize rape culture, and too often prioritize power, dominance, and control over consent, respect, and accountability. Prevention demands that all of us show up to challenge harm, to practice and uphold enthusiastic consent, and to build communities rooted in care, dignity, and respect. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Joliet Township Government Board hereby recognizes April 2026 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and calls upon all members of the community to honor this observance by standing in solidarity with survivors and by following the example of survivors like Dolores Huerta, who remain steadfast in a commitment to advance rights and equity. As we honor and uplift survivors and recognize the advocates, organizers, and leaders who have driven this moment forward, we reaffirm that their bravery, resilience, and truth-telling make clear that another world is possible, and that each of us has both the power and responsibility to help create it. To be adopted this 14th day of April 2026. Is there a motion and a second to approve this proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Trustee Vivian,
Aye.
Trustee Washington,
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And up next, we'll review the contract for Oakwood Cemetery grass cutting services. We previously approved the minutes of the bid opening date. So are there any questions regarding the contract for Oakwood Cemetery services, grass cutting services, to be issued to KD Landscape? Seeing no questions, I'll ask if there is a motion and a second to approve the contract for Oakwood Cemetery grass cutting services to KD Landscape.
So moved.
Second.
So a motion and a second, Madam Clerk, if you please call the roll.
Trustee Vivian,
Aye.
Trustee Washington,
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, so next we'll have, resolution number 2026-04, ratifying the elimination of additional positions due to budget constraints and operational necessity. This is a subject that we've kind of spoken at length, at our past board meetings. So as we work towards, moving towards a balanced budget, we found it necessary to, eliminate a few full-time positions. They're included in the, board packet for everyone. Trustees, if you've had an opportunity to review them, are there any questions regarding this resolution? And I'll ask if there is a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2026-04.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Trustee Washington,
Aye.
Trustee Vivian,
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Up next, we have, resolution number 2026-06, authorizing the execution of a consultant agreement between Joliet Township and Moon and Sun Creative LLC. So it's again part of, taking progress towards building a more balanced budget, but still trying to balance, the operational needs that we have here within the township. So this consultant agreement, kind of fills in some of the void of, media and communication services. So this will be, if approved tonight, will go into effect. I would like to, for the trustees here, direct your attention, we made some last minute changes here just to clarify some of the language. So if you look, direct your attention to section 3, compensation. We've simply clarified that this would be at a billable rate of $30 per hour, invoiced every 2 weeks or 14 days, and that the billable hours per invoice shall not exceed 20 hours per 2-week billing cycle. So that last sentence there, billable hours shall not exceed 20 hours per week, per 2-week billing cycle, was really the only substantial change that we made. So we just wanted to clarify what the scope of work would be, so that we have a little more clarity for both parties. So if there are no questions regarding this resolution, then I would ask for a motion and a second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. So that concludes our new business and voting agenda items here. We'll continue on with reports and then conclude with our receipts and expenditures at the end of the meeting. So first, we'd like to have a report from our lead transportation coordinator, Leo Haro. So let's see, he did provide a written summary, so very quickly go through that. During the month of March, the transportation program successfully completed 500 trips, provided transportation support for Salvation Army campers traveling to the YMCA during spring break, and assisted with 4 outings for seniors living at Victory Center. So, transportation continues, pretty consistent numbers, so glad to see that's still being utilized. Next, we would have a report from our General Assistance Director, Patricia Capiano, who is here, if you'd like to come forward.
We didn't have any outreach events in March, however, Alejandra will be attending the Healthy Families, Healthy Homes event at Will County Center for Community Concerns on Saturday, April 25th. Tax season has kicked into high gear. What started out as a slow season is ending with overwhelming numbers of last-minute filers. As of today, we've prepared 664 returns for the 2025 season. Of those returns, 322 have been turned in and prepared since March 14th. So it's been stupid this year. We still have returns that are coming into the office, and we still have folks calling in that need to be last-minute late filers. Our site is one of the few VITA sites that never shuts down, so as long as people need service, the service will be given. Our March LIHEAP outreach was a success, and our next LIHEAP event will be tomorrow, April 15th, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. here in the boardroom. Requests for assistance have been low, but Jesse's been holding it down for us with client intakes and front desk duty while Alejandra and myself are busy with tax season. Other than that, it's just business as usual.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we would have our Animal Control Director, Whitney Gill. She did provide a written statement, so I'll read her report. The Animal Control Department continues to play a vital and highly active role in serving our community. Over the past year, from April 1st, 2025 through April 1st, 2026, our team responded to an impressive 2,198 calls for service, demonstrating both the demand for and necessity of our operations. These calls encompass a wide range of situations, including animal cruelty and neglect investigations, dog bite incidents, stray animal intake, wildlife concerns such as animals caught in traps, and numerous other public safety and animal welfare needs. Each call represents a direct impact on the safety of both residents and animals within the township. In addition to field response, our facility has remained consistently busy. Over the past year, we took in 550 animals surrendered by township residents who had no other options for their pets. A total of 2,248 animals enter our facility, reflecting the significant volume of animals requiring care and shelter. We successfully completed 621 adoptions, connecting hundreds of animals with new homes and reducing the burden of both the community and the shelter system. These numbers underscore the critical role animal control plays, not only in emergency response and public safety, but also as a safety net for residents facing difficult circumstances with their pets. Our department remains committed to providing compassionate care, responsible enforcement, and essential services that directly support the well-being of the township. We will continue working diligently to meet the needs of our community and appreciate the ongoing support of our mission. So it's a written report from our Animal Control Director. Up next, we will have, yes?
Excuse me, quick question. I missed the very beginning. What were the metrics for calls to service and over what period of time?
Sure. So this is for the kind of the last operational year, so April 1st, 2025 through April 1st of 2026. And there was a total of 2,198 calls for service.
In advance of the meeting next month, do you think that Whitney could pull data for the past 5 or 6 years to see how that number has either increased, stayed stable, or decreased over the past 5 or 6 years?
I think we can definitely do that, yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions regarding animal control? Okay, then we'll continue on. We'll have a report from our finance director, Ivan Diaz.
How's everybody doing? This is usually a really busy time of the year. End of our fiscal year, end of the first quarter. A lot, closing out the QuickBooks, making a lot of year-end entries, transferring funds per the budget. Spending a lot of time with Caesar and other directors to work on upcoming budgets. First quarter payroll returns were done, those were mailed, e-filed. Also, grant reports usually due the 15th, so early April's also busy. Reports for this meeting and annual town meeting also were completed. But that's most of my time there. So, if you guys have any questions on that? A lot of boring stuff.
Certainly necessary.
No questions? All right, thank you.
Up next, we are joined today by our Highway Commissioner, Vincent Alessio, who'd like to give his report now.
I'm gonna keep it brief, because we have the annual town meeting. I'm gonna go over some of the financial stuff then, so. Really, we've been dealing with the influx of rain, so we've gotten resident calls on drainage issues and so forth, which, you know, we're taking, making sure we're taking care of what needs to be taken care of. We're getting out, we've been doing, some shoulder stone, starting to, the mowers are all ready to go mowing, so that should be happening soon, just like everybody else is mowing, we're gonna start soon. We're getting ready to, for the next year's budget, and, having conversations, had a lunch Friday with the engineering firm, so we're starting to get some stuff together for what might be on, next year's budget as far as road work and stuff like that. So, like I said, I'll keep it brief, unless you guys have any questions, that's all I have right now.
Like I said, we'll have our annual town meeting coming up, so we'll kind of give a year-end review of that.
Perfect, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Jim Franceschi is not with us at the moment. We'll have our program policy coordinator, Tyler Jacolo, come up next.
Good evening, everybody. This will, I think, currently be my last update as the program policy coordinator, as most of my last few weeks have been working on the transition to the role currently held by Gabe for the violence prevention community convener. So that's really most of my update, as been preparing for that transition. Had a statewide training all of yesterday with IDHS about the program, meeting with many of the local nonprofits that we partner with, and building those relationships and kind of making sure we understand exactly what the program entails. That's really most of my update, because it's been most of what I've been doing to prep these last few weeks, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Then Gabriel will be next, so have a written report submitted by Katie Martinez Rosales, our TIBH therapist director. So we'll do that for the record now. In March, we were able to complete the 8-week group therapy program with Lincoln School. All clients have been discharged. We currently have 21 active clients in the program. We have also completed the quarter 3 report, and it was turned in a timely manner. This past month, I expanded community outreach by delivering a psychoeducational presentation in Spanish to the community through a partnership with Sueño Monapka at Lewis University, reaching 17 attendees. An additional English language session on the same topic has been extended, this impact to 10 more participants. Then normally we would have Jeff Wallace Wallace, our senior liaison. I don't think he's with us today. So we'll ask our clerk, Kendra Lampier, to like provide her report now.
So for the month of March was busy with the Oakwood Cemetery grass cutting bid and preparing for the board meeting and the annual town meeting, of course. And also, the month of March, just navigating through the staff transitions that happened. And then there has been an increased employee request for a range of records, including financials, board meeting materials, community grants, animal control, and bids. So just a lot of different things. And then in the month of March, I prepared the Sexual Assault Awareness Month proclamation. And then again, moving forward, the proclamations will be managed by the clerk's office. Lastly, I attended the She Means Business event hosted by Letta with Trustee Vivian and then Anna, as well as the Black Women Are Divine event. I attended that by BLM Will County Grassroots that we were all invited to at the last meeting. But that's all I was doing in March. But any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone who's here joining us. Certainly the weather has gotten a lot better, and we had some questions about the heat in here. So it comes with having a very old building. We have to manually change our heat and cooling system, like just on off. There isn't like a sliding scale. It's either all heat or all cooling. So one of the reasons why we're kind of building towards getting a improved facility, but that'll be long-term planning. We did have, as was mentioned earlier, kind of some organizational changes. We're working towards building, getting towards that balanced budget. We'll have more details on that during the annual town meeting, which is coming up at 6. I wanted to take a moment just to kind of ask for a brief moment of silence. If Archie was here, I'm sure he would know him. I'm not sure if you were close with him, Betty, but Mr. Roger Powell Sr., so a longtime Joliet resident, had previously run for office, had been very involved in a lot of different regards. So I think it was just earlier this month that Mr. Powell passed away. So I'd like to ask if everybody could just hold a brief moment of silence.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Yes.
About that? Is that the basketball player at Illinois' father?
Yeah.
That's what I
Yes.
thought.
That's, yeah.
And he
Or
was
former
a star.
player.
He was.
Was he a star too?
Senior was a star basketball
Wow.
player for
Yeah.
Joliet Central as well.
Yeah, I think several records broken
Yes.
and several records
In
held for
college and high
years.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
and my neighbor.
oh, okay, yeah, did not.
You mentored tons of youth in the community.
Yes,
So,
and he was a substitute teacher.
learning more about him at the moment. So yeah, we just wanted to take a brief moment to kind of recognize the loss in the community. But it's a long life and a life well lived. So our respects to Mr. Powell and his family as they kind of go through this grieving moment. As I said, we'll have more details on kind of a year-end review for the township at our annual town meeting at 6. Very briefly though, kind of the emphasis really has been on reducing our expenses. So we'll have the numbers highlighted and showcased in a little bit here. But we're getting significantly closer to making that end goal. So as part of that, we've had to suspend our community grants, our funding to external kind of third-party organizations. But we're hoping that as things become stabilized, we have kind of 1 year to get our legs underneath us. We'll be balanced, come back next year, and hopefully be able to resume some of those programs that we've either reduced capacity for or limited in some other way. So, we'll be finishing soon here in a moment, but I would ask if everybody, if you'd like to stick around and return for our annual town meeting at 6, we will be having registration at the front here by the door, and that is structure of that meeting is a little bit different, so it won't be our board that will be voting, on those items. It's a meeting of the electorate, so the public will have their chance to participate in the agenda. Any questions? None, then we'll continue on with the remainder of our board meeting agenda. And first item as we come back is approval of receipts. This last month I have, receipts totaling $463,699.29. Is there a motion and a second to approve all receipts for this past month?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. So then we'll go through expenditures and bills. The general town fund had cash disbursements for $322,442.42. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and second, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next, under capital fund, cash disbursements were total $75,330.21. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Our general assistance fund expenditures totaled $11,684.08 for the month of March. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Road and bridge fund disbursements totaled $269,083.51. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and second. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Just did it. It was road and bridge that we just did.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Animal control fund, expenses for the month of March totaled $92,455.06. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And finally, our senior fund receipts totaled $10 even during the month of March. There's a motion and second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and second. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. So that is the final voting item on our agenda. All that would remain unless there is any closing comments or questions from the board. None, then I would ask if there's a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and second, motion to adjourn. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Trustee Vivian.
Aye.
Trustee Washington.
Aye.
Trustee Adamowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you all.